Fitness, and today I'm gonna go over how skinny guys with no muscle, like I used to be, can put on muscle working at home. So just a few things I want to talk about before I actually show you the exercises that you can actually be doing at home, and some other ones as a bonus that you can be doing at the gym, also if you have a gym membership. But the main thing is that there's a lot of guys out there who are skinny, don't have a lot of muscle on them, me being one of them before, as you're going to see right here in this picture. I was literally 145, 146 pounds around here. In this photo, and this was, how old was I here? I was 16 or 17 years old, right? 34 now. I was 145, 146 pounds there. Right now I'm about 190, 191, okay? Took about 16 years or so, but it's possible. You can do it if you have the right methods, if you obviously stay on top of your nutrition, if you're getting the right amount of protein all the time. But nonetheless, it comes down to the exercises and how you perform them when it comes to muscle building, which is the most crucial thing. Yes, of course, you have to make sure you supplement that with the right nutrition and calories, but if you are not activating and engaging your muscles correctly and challenging them and creating a lot of tension through different even techniques that involve more tempo-based exercises like I have a lot of my other videos, then you're not gonna get the growth that you could possibly be getting. And this is over like a time period of months, right? So if you take, I always use this example, but just quickly, if you take two people, okay, they're roughly the same. I know everybody's gonna have some different nuances when it comes to working out and how much they push, but just for the sake of giving you an example, you got two guys, they are both basically going to the gym the same time, and they're going the same amount of times, and they're doing the same routine when it comes to lifting weights and doing a lot of strength / hypertrophy types of exercises with a lot of repetitions, more metabolic training involved with that as well. The guy that basically concentrates on obviously his form, but making sure that he's pushing for a lot of repetitions, creating a lot of tension, and he's doing that over and over and over again, he's going to build more lean tissue over time than the next guy, okay? The one that's being compared. Now, obviously, there's, you know, other things do play a factor like genetics, power output, what the person's strength level is when they first start, so on and so forth, and then other things with that as well. But again, just as a basic example to give you guys, that's what's gonna happen if you keep pushing yourself to the best that you can and you keep gunning for the amount of tension when you work out, okay? Now, to do that, as somebody, like I said, who was skinny before and didn't have a lot of muscle mass, actually I had way more of an athletic build. I was meant for that and I was better for that versus actually being more muscular. But nonetheless, if you, again, you stick to it, you keep doing the necessary things, you can achieve the body that you want nonetheless when it comes to muscles as well. But you have to basically do the exercises that I'm going to show you and also perform them in a way which I'm going to show you in another clip in this video. And you got to do it on a repeated basis, on a weekly basis. Now, if you're somebody that can only go to the gym 3 times a week because you're just starting off and that's all you can handle, that's fine. You can still maximize to the best of your respective degree that you can get with those 3 days a week, okay? If you can manage 4, if you can manage 5, whatever. Whatever days you go, you just want to utilize as best as possible. When I first started working out, I was only doing 3 days a week, and then I moved up to 4, and then I moved up to 5, and then 6, and now 7, right? So eventually that can be you as well. And you want to do it in a systematic type of way. You don't want to just do it all at once, because if you can't handle it, you're going to get discouraged, and then you're going to get upset like a lot of people do, and then they don't even continuing working out, and they fail, and then they get upset even more longer down the road because they don't have the results that they could have had when they start meeting people that have the results that they wanted originally, okay? So here are some of the clips on how to perform the exercises, okay? And then the exercises that you can do at home and also in the gym as well. They are ones that you obviously, some of them anyways, maybe most of you, are exercises you have seen before. They might not be anything special to you, but again, how you perform them, how often you go to the gym or work out at home, and how much time under tension you create through the amount of tempo you add. So basically the seconds you add to each exercise in regards to your concentric and eccentric motions, which again, you're gonna see in the clips, and how often you incorporate that. And then also the total amount of reps, so metabolic training, that you add in as well, and how long and how far you can take that while accompanying that with strength. Okay, so this video is titled TMMT. Don't get it confused for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's actually happened before and it's actually been quite funny. But no, it's TMMT, which stands for technique, okay? Mind to muscle, and then tempo. That's the abbreviation, that's what it means, okay? And the reason why I kind of put this together, just to make it easy for people to follow a little bit of a guideline when they're working out, when they're lifting weights, okay? So in terms of when you want to learn how to actually and properly engage your muscles correctly, this is the type of formula that you want to follow. So there's the technique, right? So any exercise that you do for any body part, there's always a technique that you want to follow on how to perform it correctly. That's the first thing that you want to do correctly, obviously, right? So whether it's squats, when you're basically trying to squat and you're keeping your knees over your toes and you're keeping your head slightly forward, chest slightly out, back is flat, but on obviously a bit of an angle because of the way that you are squatting down and up. That's the technique for that exercise. When you're doing biceps, your elbows are by your side, your chest is out, your back is straight, you're relaxing your traps, and then you're bringing your arms up, out and in front of you, and then you're bringing your forearm to the bottom part of your bicep and not going any further, because if you were, then you'd have to move your shoulder forward, which is not what we want, okay? So just to give you a basic idea, that's the technique for those two muscles, and then obviously there are techniques for every other exercise. Now the second part to this is the mind to muscle connection. So MM, so there's T, MM, and then T, so mind to muscle. So what this is over the years I've noticed like throughout my practice that people have a hard time engaging their muscles. Some people get it very easily, other people have a harder time, and some people are good at engaging certain muscles even through certain exercises. Other exercises for the same muscle group they might not engage as well. Nonetheless, it really does vary, and there are certain things that you can do in order to help you engage that muscle a little bit more. For an example, back to the squat. When you are squatting, you have your technique down, then you're going to focus on your mind to muscle when you're doing the exercise. And what that is when you are squatting down and up, your foot is obviously going to be flat on the floor. You don't want your heel to come up, but you want to focus on pressing through the ball of the foot and the heel more, okay? And as you do that, you want to imagine you're trying to press your feet through the floor, like you're trying to basically break through the floor with your feet, which is obviously impossible, but that's what you want to imagine in order to help you really engage those areas on your feet more. That will help engage your legs even further. And when you do this over time and you keep adapting this principle, you're going to get better at activating your muscle, okay? You're going to get better at engaging the muscle tissue and knowing where you want to feel it. So the more that you do this, and you actually take your time to do the exercise and actually have good technique when you're doing it, you're going to get better at engaging the muscle. And it's like anything else that you do in life, you get better at it and you start to adapt and feel how the fibers are when you're doing the exercise. Now the last bit is tempo. So it's TMMT, the T stands for tempo. Now what tempo is basically the speed. And this is where you can really make the exercise harder and play around with the difficulty, so to speak, when it comes to you performing it. So we're gonna go back to the squat again. Regardless, you can, again, this applies to any exercise. You always make sure the technique is first, and then you make sure the mind to muscle connection is there, and then you play around with the tempo. And then you bring these all together and do it all at the same time when you're doing an exercise, okay? So when it comes to the tempo for the squat, when you're going up and down, you can control the speed. So for a regular tempo, it's generally 1-to-1. So you go 1 second up, 1 second down. If you want to put more tension on the muscle, you want to increase the tempo. So let's say you want to do 2 in 2 seconds. So you do 2 seconds up and then you do 2 seconds down. And then let's say you want to make it even harder. You can do 3 seconds up up, 5 seconds down. You can do 5 seconds up, 4 seconds down. You can even do a pause rep or a static hold, where you basically hold the exercise halfway and keep it there for as long as you can for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, regardless, until you can't do it anymore. And then you can even repeat that with a number of reps. Regardless, you can have fun with it, right? You can play around with it, see where your strengths lie, see where you need to increase your strengths, where you need to get better at, and you just go from there. Now, the idea here is to take all of these steps and then combine them all in one as you're doing the exercises. So this is TMMT, this is what I teach people, and this is what I teach to beginners, especially to people who are just getting into working out and don't know what to do. Somebody who's just getting into working out and they don't have any concept of how to perform any exercises, like they're very, very green, they're very new, they haven't done anything. This is what I show them at first to give them a foundation on what to work on and to build from there. Even people who have been working on, this is a good structure to basically take into your routine to allow you to follow a simple guideline so that you know that you're going to be performing and executing the exercises correctly, right? So it's got its benefits. You can, especially if you have, if you've been going to the gym for a period of time and you're not new to working out, especially if you're somebody who's been hitting a bit of a plateau, this can really make it interesting for you and make it a little bit more challenging as well. So you can adapt this to any exercise, you can adapt it to any of your sessions, whether it's chest, biceps, if you're doing triceps, legs, if you're combining different exercises. When it comes down to really understanding how to engage the muscle properly and how to challenge them and how to perform them correctly, this is something that you can use in order to make things a little bit more clear for you and easier for you when you're performing the exercises, and also keep you challenged so that you don't plateau and you can keep growing your muscles and creating more tissue as you keep working out.
Now, when performing the push-up, we're going to do it here a little bit different. You're going to place your hands shoulder width apart, but you're going to bend the knees to roughly a 45-degree angle like I have, and keep your back flat. You're also going to move forward and down, just as I'm doing in the video when performing this push-up, and press from your fingertips and the palm of your hands, and imagine that you're trying to break through the floor as you're coming back up. The reason why I do them like this is because it engages your core more. The arcing motion of you going forward and backwards causes your chest muscles to engage fully, and it just allows you to be challenged quite a bit more when engaging the chest muscles for this exercise. Alright, your good old-fashioned bicep curls. Surprisingly, a lot of people actually do these wrong. But as I'm going to show you in this video, you want to stand straight, keep your chest out, bring both of them up to roughly about halfway or even a bit higher, and then you want to control the momentum on the way down. You don't want to let your arms just swing, and you want to keep your elbows pinned to your side like I'm going to show you in this angle right here. Just like how you see my elbows are positioned, I want yours to do the same. You don't want them to move, which will allow you to create an arcing motion with your forearm that is the driving force to be able to allow your bicep to contract, okay? The reason why we don't want it to move is because we want to keep it in that position, because if the shoulder moves, it takes away tension on the bottom of the bicep and therefore doesn't give us as much as we want when we're performing this exercise. You can also do a single arm curl just like I'm doing here, but the same rule applies. Keep the elbow position, chest out, back straight, keep your core engaged, and you're good to go.
What's going on, guys? I just wanted to take a quick break from the video and say thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video and showing support. It really, really honestly is appreciated. And also, if you're somebody who's been struggling with weight loss or to put on muscle or to learn even how to exercise properly, then you can actually head over to my website. I have a membership area there that you can join. It's made for people that need a direction in order to get to the goals that they want, but don't know what direction to take. It's got a host of how-to videos, mindset videos, nutritional videos, and educational videos, and is set up for your success. If you're interested and you want to be able to get on this, then you can drop a comment in the link below, or you can click a link in the description and we can take it from there.
So when performing a basic body squat, you want to keep your feet roughly shoulder width apart. A little bit wider is fine too. You want to keep your back straight, chest out, and as you're going down, you're going to make sure your knees follow where your toes are. They want to be over the toes, okay? And you also want to stick out your chest forward and put your hips and your glutes behind you like I'm doing in this shot right here. Now, you don't want to round out your back when you go down. You want to keep your back straight, almost like a landing pad. And you want to imagine that you're trying to break through the floor when you're pressing up, when you're moving upwards in the squat exercise. When you're going downwards, you also want to control the motion as well, and you want to press your heels and dig them into the ground along with the ball of the foot as well. You always want to utilize and press from those areas as much as you can when performing the squat, so you engage the legs as best as possible. So for the most part, when doing a pull-up, it's going to be roughly the same thing on how you perform it. I'm going to have a separate video on the differences between them, but just for this video, to keep it nice and simple, you're going to grab a wide grip pull-up, and then as you pull up, you're going to flare out your elbows to the side and squeeze your shoulder blades together to allow the top part of your back to really engage and to really work. And from this angle here, it gives you a better idea and a better view on how and what I'm talking about. See how my elbows are flared more to the side, which will allow my scapula to rotate inwards. Now let's say I grab with an underhand grip. Doing this is going to allow me to be able to move my elbows inwards more, which allows me to be able to work my lats just a bit more as well. The top part of my back is still going to engage like I did before, but because of the different angle, there's going to be parts of my lats that will engage. But again, I'm going to have another video that's going to go way more into detail on the different types of pull-ups that you can do and how it affects your back when you do them.
Okay, so this video is titled TMMT. Don't get it confused for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's actually happened before and it's actually been quite funny. But no, it's TMMT, which stands for technique, okay? Mind to muscle, and then tempo. That's the abbreviation, that's what it means, okay? And the reason why I kind of put this together, just to make it easy for people to follow a little bit of a guideline when they're working out, when they're lifting weights, okay? So